I've always been fascinated about the 144,000. When I was a younger Christian, I thought to myself, oh, I wonder if I'm one of them. You know, because it's this future far off thing that I'm waiting for. I thought, you know, I could be, what couldn't I be one of them? Maybe, somehow. And then once I, studied the material more, I realised, no, I couldn't. Because I wasn't one of the from the tribes of Israel. But yeah, you go on YouTube and you find people with accounts who make videos suggesting that they are part of the 144,000, and you get all kinds of bizarre claims. Some claim that's the only, that's it, that's the people who get saved. There's 144,000 people who will go on to salvation, and everyone else gets eternal conscious torment. You get one person who says they're all women, and I'm one of them. And subscribe to my channel. We'll see how it goes. Maybe you can get in. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But let's just go with the scriptures here. And he said to him, Sir, you know. So he said to me, These are the ones who come out of the great tribulation, and washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. These are the ones who were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, being firstfruits to God and to the Lamb. Okay, so from these scriptures we know that the 144,000 are the regathered of the 12 tribes. Remember, Jesus came to regather. We also know that these 144,000 go through the tribulation and were the first fruits. That means that they're the first generation of Jewish Christians. We also know that the Great Tribulation was experienced in the first century when Emperor Nero teamed up with Jewish authority in Mystery Babylon, Jerusalem, to systematically persecute Christians before God executed his judgment to avenge the saints, striking with a wrath that destroyed Israel from the face of the world and ushered in the new creation and an eternal heavenly kingdom, spiritual kingdom. Let's explore some scriptures now to, build that up. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Now, I just want you to fathom, I don't need to fathom it, I just want you to consider the reasonableness, the explanatory power. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily, right? I mean, you must admit to yourself that, preterism sounds quite reasonable, because of all those Christians who were killed, and then for Jesus to say that they'll be avenged speedily, but then they haven't been, God hasn't executed his judgment. You know what I mean? It's just consistent. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, shall he find faith on the earth? Right? I mean, you can see how that would fit in really nicely with the first century. You can. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, and has long patience for it until he receives the early and latter rain. Here's James trying to encourage the saints, because they're going through hard times, and he's saying, brethren, be patient until the coming of the Lord. Now, people will press me, people will say, oh, well, that could mean anything. Yeah, no, it couldn't mean anything. Clearly, James is telling the first century saints, Jesus is coming. He's going to be here soon. Just hold on. Hold on, you will see your salvation. Be firm in your faith. He's coming. He came. Daniel 12:10. Many shall be purified, made white and refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So you've got all these Jews denying it. They're saying peace and safety, right? And then you've got Nero and the Jewish authorities conspiring, going after the Christians, and yeah, and then God exacts his vengeance. You know, the vindication of the martyrs. Okay. You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand. Again, James is encouraging his congregation. He's telling them, look folks, the coming of the Lord is at hand. Now, we know that Jesus, I'm kind of stammering through this, but we'll just go with it. I'm doing it in one take. We know that Jesus told people that a false apostle, a false prophet, comes and tells you the time is near, the time is at hand. Right? That's the criteria of a false apostle. So if Jesus didn't come back, then if you're a disciple of Jesus Christ, you should, everything after John, everything after the Gospel of John, you should throw out, because it all speaks about an imminent coming. You know, the time of the Lord is near. Jesus said they'll come and they'll say the time of the Lord is near, don't listen to them. Well, they speak with an even greater urgency, don't they? Because John the Apostle said it's the last hour. So if Jesus tells you to disregard the apostles who say the time is near when it's not near, you have to throw out the New Testament. If you're a disciple of Jesus Christ, that is. You might not be. Maybe you're just some person kidding yourself, just entrenched in a strong delusion, unable to get out. You know what I mean? It's like that thing, that crab mentality, when the crabs, apparently this happens, it probably doesn't, you know, these little stories, but the idea is that you get all these crabs in a basket, and then one of them will try and maybe look up, and then the others will just grab it and drag it back into the net, or whatever it is, the crab box, whatever they use to catch crabs. Yeah. So they all get, all the crabs get stuck together and they just drag each other down. You know, it's like the blind leading the blind. If that's what you're into, then yeah, you're in trouble. But you know what I'm saying here, right? You know what I'm trying to encourage you to see. Okay, Hebrews 10:37. For yet a very, very little while. Now this is the literal translation. A very, very little while. What does that sound like to you? In the far, far distant future, 60 generations from now, Jesus is coming back. Was that your interpretation of this verse? For in a very, very little time period. You know what I'm saying? And people say, William, you act so, you're just so vulgar and you're so immature. It's just like, no, I'm going crazy here, okay? Right. And he who is coming will come and will not tarry. You know what I'm saying? You're getting it? You're getting it? We're together on this now. We're going to sip a couple of Jägermeisters together. I don't do that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You must know what I'm saying. Come now, you rich, weep and howl for your miseries that are coming upon you. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver are corroded, and their corrosion will be a witness against you and will eat your flesh like fire. You have heaped up treasure in the last days. Indeed, the wages of the labourers who mowed your fields, which you kept back by fraud, cry out, and the cry of the reapers have reached the ears of the Lord of the Sabaoth. You have lived on the earth in pleasure and luxury. You have fattened your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You have condemned. You have murdered the just. He does not resist you. Yeah. So here we go. We get these murderers, and they're just killing the saints, and you know they're not resisting. And yeah, vengeance is coming quickly, as prophesied. You know it makes sense. Philippians 4:5. Let your fairness be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. You know what I mean? Revelation 2:25. But hold fast what you have till I come. I mean, doesn't this verse just plead with you to just accept preterism. You know, someone told me when I posted this on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, I posted this verse on Facebook, but hold fast what you have till I come. And I said, look, doesn't this just scream preterism to you? And people are like, no, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that Jesus said he's coming soon. It doesn't mean that they'll live to see. It doesn't mean anything that you think it means. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was a really objective response. I'm like, are you for real? Jesus tells a first century congregation of Christian believers, you hold fast till I come. And yes, we have ingrained in our consciences this weird conception of those words. Yeah, when Jesus says something like that, what he means is wait until you're dead, 2,000 years rotting in the ground, and then he's going to draw you up out the ground. You're going to stand up, dust yourself off, and think, I held fast till you came. No, you were dead for how many thousand years, you know what I mean? When Jesus says this to his first century audience, right, he's telling them that. He's encouraging them. He's saying, hold fast till I come. You know, you will be rewarded. I mean, can you imagine hearing that message in that first century church? What are you thinking? You know what I mean? You're, whoever it is reads that message to you, you know, you get the word. The Lord Jesus Christ has told us to hold fast till he comes. You're going through this time of persecution, and that just makes you miss the eye. You're like, man, that's good. I'm going to do this. You know, like what, 20 years down the line, man, I lost a lot of my family, and you know, they all died there during that persecution. But you know, I'm holding fast. You know, another how many years go by? You're an old person now, like, man, I held fast, waiting for Jesus, and he never came. He told me he was going to come, and he never came. You know what I mean? You get that? Jesus said he's coming, right? And the best way to understand that, the only way to understand it, if you want to understand it, this is how you understand it. He did return, as he said he would. Assuredly I say to you, this generation will not pass away till all these things take place. But no, we make up all these, we play the gymnastics, the linguistic gymnastics, the logical gymnastics. It's all going on up here, you know. It's just craziness. It really is. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. But you know, I've said enough here. I hope you get it. It's simple stuff. You know what I mean? It's difficult. It is. It's difficult to accept new information when you're so deeply entrenched in a certain idea with certain expectations, and then you find out, oh wait, it's not like that. That's kind of serious. Yeah, I'm going to have to take some time with this. You know, maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe at first you react with a bit of hesitation, frustration, but you know, once you start to enjoy the you know, you can enjoy it. You can get delight out of the truth. Anyway, I'm stuttering, stammering my way through this. It's because I feel like I've got so much to say and so little time. All the best. Take care. Where's the off switch? Oh, here we go.